Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's English class. Today's class is for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 1. And our lesson for today is chapter Is There a View? We will have writing and a project for writing. You can see it on page 54. The lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Al-Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agel. So welcome everyone. Our objectives for today's lesson, we hope that at the end, the student will be able to write a description of each room in the house and also to search for adjectives that describe home in the paragraph, and also use conjunctions, the word and, but to link sentences. Before we do that, let's start first by some revision of last lesson. If you remember, in last lesson, we have read two interesting paragraphs. The first one was about the cave houses, and the second one was about the houseboats. And you remember how we discussed the cave houses, and we said that the cave houses are as similar as the new houses. They have facilities like running water, like electricities, and also it is very famous in places like Spain. And also we talked about houseboats, and we said that in Netherlands there are not one, not two, but more than 10,000 houseboats in Netherlands. And why there are houseboats? Do you remember? Very good. Yes, there were houseboats because there wasn't enough houses for people to live. So this is why they created something we called houseboats, which is young people and artists likes to live in. And we also answered a couple of questions regarding the cave houses and also the houseboats. Some of these questions were, are the cave houses cold or hot? What do you remember? Very well. Yes, we said that the cave houses temperatures are between 19 Celsius and 20 Celsius. So they are not very cold and they are not very hot. They always room temperature in the whole season. And also, do they have modern facilities? Do the cave houses have modern facilities? Very good. Yes, they have modern facilities. They have electricity and they have running water as well. And how big are the cave houses? You remember we talked about the cave houses and how much rooms do they have? Do you remember how many rooms do the cave houses? Very good. Yes, the cave houses have more than 10 rooms, more than 10 rooms. So they are very big. And also regarding the houseboats, we said that how many houseboats are there in Netherlands? As we have read, that we said they have more than 10,000 houseboats in Netherlands. And also, who likes to live in the houseboats? Obviously, we said that young people and artists who didn't find a home likes to live in the houseboats. And you remember we have finished with one interesting information when I said that give me an example in your town or in your country about places or houses that is unusual. It's not like any regular houses, like the cave houses or the houseboats. And we gave an interesting example. Do you remember what was that example? Very good. Yes, the example was Mada'in Saleh in the northern part of Saudi Arabia. This is an example of unusual houses we have here in Saudi Arabia. Very good. Now let's move on to our lesson for today. Our lesson for today is very interesting one. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to describe our home, how to describe the rooms we have in our home, and what do we like, and how can we describe the things that are in our rooms. So let's read the question first, and me and you will try to help each other out in writing this answer. Complete the chart with notes that describe your home. So we're going to complete this chart. As you can see, here we have two columns. The first one is for rooms, and the second is description. As you can see, here we have different rooms. We have kitchen, we have living room, we have bedrooms, we have bathrooms, and we have other. So if you have other thing to add here, you can add. So what are we going to write? We're not going to write sentences. We're only going to write notes. We're only going to write notes, simple words that describe our rooms in our house. And I'll show you why in a minute. And also, the things that they want you to write is what are the things in each room? What do you have in the kitchen? What do they have in the living room, in the bedrooms, and also in the bathroom? Write the things that you have in each of these rooms. And also, what the words describe the rooms. What are the words that you're going to use to describe the room? So, for example, description like big room or small room, okay? And we'll find out more adjectives about the rooms. And also, what is your favorite room? As we did in the previous lessons, when we listened to John and Tom talking about their favorite room. Today, you will do the same, and you also are going to tell us about your favorite room. So, this is a simple method, a simple way from me to help you and figure out how to describe your room. Let's start first of all with this picture. Have a look please at this picture. What can you see in this one? What room is this? Very good. Yes, it is a kitchen. And what do we have in the kitchen? Let's have a look together. So there is, for example, a fridge. There is a dining table. There are chairs. There is cereal. And there are also oven. So all of these things are here in the kitchen. Let's see an example of another room. This one. What room is this one? Very good. Yes, this is the living room. So let's try to find out what exactly is there in the living room. So here we have on the left, for example, we have a sofa. And on the left, we have a painting. We have an air conditioning. We have a TV. We have a plant as well. Here we have a clock. So all of these things are here in the living room. So this is what do you mean by the notes that you need to describe from the different rooms in your house. Let's see another one. What room is this one? Very good. Yes, this is a bedroom. Let's see what do we have in the bedroom. We have a lamp. We have a bed. We have a closet. And also we have a fan, blankets, pillows. These are the things that you usually find in our bedroom. One last example. What is this room? Very well. Yes, this is the bathroom. And what do you usually have in the bathroom? We usually have a wash, and here we have a shower, and we have a bathtub. So these are the things we usually find in our rooms. So this is how I would like you to think about the rooms you have in your house, and try to mention one or two things about the things you have in your home. Let me give you another example. For me, in the kitchen, my kitchen, I'm going to describe my kitchen now. My kitchen is big, and it is modern, and it has a dining table. So this is an example of the description I want you to write. As for the living room, my living room has a nice sofa and a huge high definition TV. So my living room, it has a nice sofa and a huge high definition TV. This is how I describe my living room. Let's see the other room, which is the bedrooms. In my home, we have 3 bedrooms with nice beds and computers. In our house, we have 3 bedrooms with nice beds and computers. This is how I describe my bedrooms in my home. Next, we have the bathroom. How can I describe the bathroom? I would say that it has a shower and a bathtub. It has a shower and a bathtub. And others, what do you mean by others? If you have any, or if you want to describe anything at your home that is not mentioned here, that is not the kitchen, or not the living room, not the bedroom, or the bathroom, anything you like. For me, I write this, that I have a beautiful garden with many flowers. So you can write a similar sentence if you have a garden or a yard, or you can say, for example, I have a room for gaming, I have a room for exercising. You can write anything other than the rooms that we have mentioned here. So this is how are we going to describe our home. And as we said, not with the full sentences, we're only going to write notes. And why do we do this? Because later on, we're going to collect those notes and write a full paragraph describing our home. So, before we do this, we have a couple of things, a couple of important instructions about how to write. We're going to learn some of the things that are very important when we want to write about our home. So let's learn them first, and then we can discuss and write the full paragraph we intend to do about our home. So we have a couple of instructions here. The first one is we use and to connect words and ideas that are similar, that are the same. Okay? So if we want to go into use 2 things that are similar, we're going to use and. Like, for example, if we said the kitchen is big and modern. Big and modern. So here we have 2 adjectives. They are good adjectives, big and modern. So we use and to connect them together in one sentence. The other example is the living room is small and dark. The living room is small and dark. So these are 2 bad adjectives, but even we use it with and. So if the 2 things are good or if they are bad, we still use and to connect 2 things. Okay? So here we have 2 adjectives about our home. We use them or we connect them with and. We would say again, the kitchen is big and modern, and also the living room is small and dark. There is also one more thing, which is commas. What do you mean by comma? If we have, for example, a list, so for example, if I'm not going to describe with only 2 words, I'm going to describe with even 3 or more than adjectives. So what do we use in this? Should we use a big and modern and comfortable? No, we will use instead what we call commas. So here we're going to use a commas for a list. So for example, there is a closet, a bed, and a desk in my room. So not 1 thing or 2 things, these are 3 things. If you want to use 3 things in our description, we would use commas. Again, so there is a closet, comma, a bed, comma, and a desk in my room. So if we want to have a list, of writing down a list of more than two things, we should use commas. See the other example. The kitchen is big, comma, modern, comma, and clean. The kitchen is big, comma, modern, comma, and clean. So here are three things that we used in our description. So remember, if we are going to describe or use only two things or two adjectives, we use only and. But if we're going to describe a list, what do you mean by list is three things or more, we should use commas. This is the first instruction that we have for today in writing. So let's see the other one. The other one, unlike and, okay, we're going to use but. And we're going to use but to connect two opposite ideas. So in and, we use big and modern, which is similar. They are both good things. But if we want to use something bad and something good, and we want to use them together, should we use and? Let's see this example. The room is small but comfortable. So the room is small. Small is not something good, but the opposite idea, it is comfortable, which is good. So this is how we use but. If there is a good thing and a bad thing, we use but, okay? For example, if we say the kitchen is modern, the kitchen is modern, which is good thing, but it is dark. But it is dark, which is a bad thing. So this is how we use but. And also, we put a comma before but when there is a subject, as we can see in this example. So, my room isn't very big. My room is not very big. But, and here we're going to use the subject, it is comfortable. And since we are using a subject here, we must add a comma before the word but. So now we have learned about and we have learned about but. Let's go to the last example or last instruction we have in writing. So the place, any place that we're going to use or in our description, in our writing, the place goes at the end or at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, the place will go at the end or at the beginning of a sentence. For example, there are pretty flowers. There is no place here, only description. There are pretty flowers. Where are they? In the garden. So this is, the red one is a place. This is the red one is a place. And we can use a place at the end of the sentence. If we want to use them at the beginning of the sentence, we can, but we need to put a comma. For example, in the garden, comma, there are pretty flowers. In the garden, comma, there are pretty flowers. So, if we want to write about a place, we can do it in two cases. The first one, we can put it at the end of the sentence. As we can see here, there are pretty flowers in the garden. Or we can use it at the beginning of the sentence, which is in the garden, but in this one, we should put a comma. In the garden, comma, there are pretty flowers. Now, before we move to the writing task that we will do today, here is a little story. I will read it for you, and then we'll try to elicit some of the important adjectives that we can use in our writing. Let me read it for you. So, our home is a modern apartment in the city. It is on the 7th floor. The apartment isn't big, but it's very comfortable. It has 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, and a living room. There isn't a dining room, but the kitchen has a table and chairs. My favorite room is the living room. It has large windows and a balcony. There are some pretty flowers on the balcony. The best thing is that there is a great view of the city. So, now we have read this text. Let me and you try to elicit the adjectives and circle them that we may use in our writing. The first adjective we can see here is modern. It's a modern apartment. It is a new apartment. The second adjective is big. So the apartment is not big. Big is an adjective. Also we have comfortable. Comfortable, it means it's very relaxing. Comfortable. And also we have large. Large. And also we have pretty. Pretty flowers. Beautiful flowers. And at the end we have a great view. A view that is a good thing. So here we have 6 adjectives that we can use in our writing. So again, let's go back to the chart. As you can see, in this chart, we're going to use the notes that we have written and put them in a paragraph in exercise C. Let's see how this paragraph would look like. This is the paragraph we have wrote from the notes that we did in exercise A. So at the end, our writing paragraph will be, our home is a big house. It has big modern kitchen with a dining table, which we have mentioned here. And it has 2 bedrooms with nice beds and computer in each room, which we have said here. And also, the bathroom has a shower and a bathtub, which also we have mentioned here. And the last sentences, it also has a beautiful garden with many flowers, which we have mentioned here as well. So this is how we write a simple note. This is how we can describe our rooms and write those simple notes in order to write a full paragraph at the end. Now, there is a simple project for you to do at home in 3 steps. First, just tell the people around you about your dream house. What do you want this dream house to be? And also, find pictures on the internet or in the magazines that could describe your dream house. And if you find them, don't forget to make a poster out of these pictures, out of these in magazine or from the internet. And don't forget that in your workbook, you will find more exercises in this lesson. So on page 114, you will see similar exercises on this one in your workbook. Don't forget to check them out. At the end, I would like to thank you for your watching, and I'll see you next class.